Good morning everyone, how are you doing? Good afternoon, whenever it is you're watching me. This is Amanda Ellis and I am going to be doing a look at the energy for May 2019 today. A warm welcome to all my new subscribers. We went over the 30,000 mark a couple of days ago and I'm really thrilled. In fact, I think it's 31,000 now. So just truly humbled and honoured to do this work, and thank you so much. Some of you have been with me a long time and some of you are new, and you're all really welcome. Every month I do a number of different things on this channel. I like to keep it fresh and I just have an inquisitive nature, so I like to try different things. But I do try and do a video like this, which is really just looking at what's coming in for us all, collectively and personally, over the next 30 days. So this is the purpose of this video. I've also got a few things that I'd like to share with you before we get into the reading. It's not going to be a conventional reading. None of my readings are particularly conventional, but this one really isn't going to be. And I'll tell you why. It's because I have a deck here that I'm using for the first time. I've had it in my home for a few months now, been getting to know it, and I am no expert on it by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm wanting to honour it because it is a completely unique piece of work, and it's called the First Light Tarot. Okay, the First Light Tarot, and it is by a lady called Dinah Roseberry. Now Dinah, I owe a huge gratitude of thanks to, because she is the lady at Schiffer who commissioned me, who said yes to my Archangel Metatron deck. And of all the people that I sent my deck to, she was the one who could see the potential in it, could feel the light in it. And, you know, hats off to you, Dinah. I am forever grateful. And in a couple of months when my own deck launches, because it's getting really near, I just really wanted to honour this amazing lady. Dinah has made her own deck, and it's really unusual because what she's done is she's taken the major arcana of the tarot and given a card for each of those. But then she's also got what she calls insight cards, which are completely unique. They're not linked into, you know, the Three of Swords, the Four of Cups, anything like that. And then she's also, it's very clever, those of you that do spreads, tarot spreads or card spreads, you're used to having to maybe put them out in a certain pattern, maybe a Celtic cross or something like that, where you know that position 1 means something, position 2 means something else, the last card means something else. And what Dinah's done is she's given us a set of cards which basically do it for us. So I've laid 9 out here, and I've got a card which says present, another one which says personal message. I've got first step, what should I do, who may hurt, a wild card, outcome, near future. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay other cards on top of those. Okay, so I don't know, I'm sure it's going to work. But I'm just trying something new, so we will see what comes through. So shout out to Dinah. And all of the pictures on the cards are taken from the Hubble telescope, I believe. So they are images from space. And you know me, if you followed me a long time, I deal with the energies of colour and light. So how amazing to have a deck which actually shows us beautiful images of space. I've just picked this one up just out from nowhere, but actually I feel like I want to keep it out because what's come out straight away is card number 5, which is the Hierophant, which is the card of the teacher. But it's, of course, 5, we are entering into the 5th month. We're entering into the Taurian energy of May. And this card here is about wisdom, understanding and mentoring. And you can just see the beautiful sort of violet light there set against the black sky. And again, I think that's the reason why I like this deck, because don't be afraid of black as a colour energy. Black gets a bad rap, and indeed, of course, there is a side to black as a colour energy, which is linked into dark magic. But black as a colour is the void. It is the place from which creation springs. And you can see that in these beautiful cards. From the darkness comes this amazing light. And I feel that that's very much probably where we are at the moment. April was a bumpy month. I did warn us that it was going to be, and I think it has been, hasn't it? Whether we've been rocked collectively with events that have happened. We obviously had the Notre Dame situation. We had the terrible attacks in Indonesia. There have been a number of things through April that have shocked us, rocked us, and then also in our own personal lives. I know that a lot of people have been experiencing huge changes. So we're into May, you know, where are we from that sort of semi-chaos of April? Where do we, it feels like we're stumbling into May. That's sort of the energy that I'm getting. It's as though we're stumbling into May. But Metatron is saying to me, Archangel Metatron, who's my guide, that May will be a month to remember. And I'd like you just to think about your reaction to what I've just said there. So when I say to you, May is going to be a month to remember, do you sort of think, oh my God, not a whole load of more, you know, doo-doo? Or do you think, wow, how fantastic, May is going to be a month to remember? Because I really think sometimes we just need to check in on ourselves in terms of what is the, almost like the operating system that is running the show. Okay, and if when I say to you, May is going to be a month to remember, you instantly go into, oh my God, not more of that crap. Sorry, but you know, that's sort of the word I'm getting. That says something about what is within you in terms of what you are expecting your life to give you. But I also want to say yourself to give you, because I really believe we are masters of our own destiny. Or is the response, wow, May's a month to remember. How amazing is that? I wonder what it will bring. And of course, we want to get into that latter energy of excitement, even if there are bumps along the way, excitement for what is to come with the new month, okay? Let me just talk about patterns and that thing where the old operating system. Think of a computer. When you have to upgrade a computer or you upgrade your phone, we're used to that. We know that that has to happen. And it's fine. We say goodbye to the old system and we welcome in the new. But yet we have big resistance to doing it ourselves. And I know this because it happened to me yesterday. And I just wanted to share the story because I feel as though it's going to resonate with a lot of you. So yesterday I had a healing myself. And it wasn't because anything was wrong. It was just what I call an MOT. Okay, it was an MOT, a check-in just to make sure I'm okay. I booked it a good month or so before, and I was looking forward to it. So, without going into what the issues were, I had a discussion, got up onto the healing bed, and straight away, I could feel my own resistance to what it was that I knew I needed to let go of, which was basically a pattern. It was really a pattern of lack, putting it into words, a pattern of lack, a pattern of insecurity, a pattern of always putting other people first, you know, things like that. That's really what I'm talking about. And what was so interesting was that as the wonderful lady who was working on me was trying to do her best and bringing in all the guides, and Metatron was there, of course he was, I could see so clearly the battle that was going on between my lower self lying there on the couch, resisting letting go of something that was so familiar to her, that had been with her since childhood and before, actually. I'll say about that in a moment. And my higher self, which was just like, come on, girl, you know, let it go. That's why you're here. I was there for 2 hours because it actually took a good half an hour, if not more, to get me into a state where I actually was able to let it go. And that's me talking. You know, I'm used to working with energies. And so I'm sharing it with you because it made me realise how deeply we want to hold on to patterns which we know are dysfunctional at a mental level, there's no part of you that would say, oh yes, please, let me hang on to a cloak of insecurity. Let me hang on to a cloak of lack. Let me hang on to a cloak of putting myself bottom of the pile the whole time. Yes, please, sign me up for another 10 years of that. No one's going to do that. But there is just such resistance sometimes to letting go of anything that you are familiar with, because it all just gets rather twisted. The other thing that was quite interesting about it was that the pattern that I was letting go of wasn't even my pattern. My grandfather came in basically to the session, who passed when I was about 11 years old. And what was so interesting was it clearly became evident that it was his pattern anyway. In fact, it wasn't even his pattern, it was his father's pattern. So it was my grandfather's pattern that had been passed on through the DNA, through the ancestral line, until it ends up with me, you know? To clear it, that's what we're meant to do as light workers. But what struck me was that when he came in to almost like put his hand up and say, actually, sorry, that was me, there was this sense of, I'm really sorry it was me, you know? I'm really sorry that you've ended up with my stuff. And of course, forgave that, moved on from that. But thinking about it today afresh, what I feel I've taken from that is that I don't want to be that person in 2 or 3 generations' time that comes into my great-granddaughter or great-grandson in spirit and says, whoops, oops, okay, I can see you've got all of that dysfunction. That was actually my stuff that I didn't look at, you know? That was my stuff that I couldn't quite go into to look at because it didn't feel safe or I wasn't ready. It's a bit like having a baby. When are you ever going to be ready sometimes to look at this stuff? And I feel as though April and May are these months where we're being asked to dig deep, to let go of old stuff, whether it's patterns, whether it's actual physical situations, relationships in our life. These are the months, they really feel very, very pivotal. So I still feel May is going to be maybe a little bit bumpy. But again, look on it as anything that you're being asked to let go of, release. It's to welcome in something amazingly new. And what happened to me yesterday, and we'll just share this because I think it's interesting, I hope you find it interesting, is the fact that after I'd released all this old stuff, I just got the most amazing upgrade of beautiful electric blue light, which went all the way through me into my heart. I'm still processing it now. But it was such a blessing and such a gift. I'm not even sure where that takes me going forward. I just know that it's better than what was there, okay? So, yeah, Metatron's giving me the analogy of this is only going to make sense to people of a certain age, which leads me nicely into my next point. It's a bit like when we went from tapes to CDs, and then we went from CDs to MP3s. And then we'll go to something else. It's just like, it's big, you know? Interestingly as well, you can still have a nostalgia for the old, okay? So the old pattern or the old thing that's been left behind, but it doesn't define you any longer, okay? Wanted to say something about age, because again, this was learning that came in over the last few days. The first time ever on my channel, I had a comment come in yesterday from a man. Don't have many men watching, but thank you, all men who watch, because I love you all in terms of the fact that you're here. You know, we need the men. We need the divine masculines to be here and show up. But this one particular man, I'd not seen him before, and he threw a bit of hate my way, actually, but it was linked into my age. And I was intrigued by it more than anything because it was a comment based on the Notre Dame, what I'd said about the spire falling and the fact that it represented the fall of the old patriarchy, you know, the old male patriarchy. And it was along the lines of, oh, well, you would say that being almost a bit like an old crone, you know, that was sort of the energy of it. I wasn't at all offended in terms of myself because I'm very comfortable in who I am and the age I am. I really don't have a problem with the wrinkles and, you know, the hair or anything like that. As you get older, actually, you get many, many gifts. I would never go back to wanting to be younger actually, but that's by the by. It was more the fact it was the first time ever that I looked at it. I thought, wow, he's bringing my age into it. And then I felt into it, or I felt into it overnight, because what that was actually about is it was like being triggered by somebody who's representing, hopefully, the divine feminine energy, and maybe a more mature version of the divine feminine energy as well. And so for a man to have been triggered by that, I actually want to say, brilliant, you know, because when you trigger people, it actually shows that you've got in there, you know. Even if it's rejected out of hand at first sight, you've planted some form of seed. Even if the seed is to basically say, I need to now sink into my truth. Is that what I feel, or is it a load of bunkum? He's well within his right to feel it is a load of bunkum. It's, you know, I don't have a gripe with that. But it was that the interesting thing for me was it felt like an attack on the divine feminine, actually, and particularly the mature divine feminine. And that's what I found interesting. And in a way, I actually, a day later, celebrate, because it feels like we're moving forward. If we're triggering people, we're moving forward. So all good with that. Just wanted to mention that. And also, I also want to say, divine masculines out there, you are going to be triggering people. You're going to be triggering, you might be triggering women who might be expecting men to be a certain way. You know, hold on a minute, aren't you meant to behave in a certain way? Aren't I meant to be subservient to you? Why aren't you doing X, Y, Z anymore? Okay. You may also be triggering members of your own sex in terms of, you know, hold on a minute, why are you carrying that archetype of masculinity? It's not what, you know, it's not what I think being masculine is, you know? So we're entering uncharted territory here. And more than anything, what we have to do is we have to stand up and be counted, and we have to keep shining on, you know? Any detractor out there is actually trying to teach you something. So what you do with that is you look at it, you see if there's something to learn from it or observe from it, and then you move on, okay? So, sending love out to the person that did say that. I suspect they're not watching anymore anyway, but I will also say, and I've said this on previous videos, that you're very welcome to have a pop at me one time, but Metatron always says to me, don't be a dartboard. And by that he means let them have their say, but then they don't get a second chance to do it in terms of hitting you where it hurts. So I think that's good advice. Before I do the reading, there's one other thing I just wanted to show you, which is a plant, which you'll all know. I went and bought this yesterday. I haven't got any flowers in my video today. I've got this plant, and you'll know it. It's one of the very well-known plants, but I'm linking it to the air elemental, okay? So, oh God, it's heavy, hold on. There we go. Mother-in-law's tongue. We all know this plant, don't we? Probably many of us grew up with these in our home and thought how ugly they are. Shouldn't say it's ugly because it's a living thing, and actually it's very majestic, but this feels as though this is an aid for us at the moment in time. We're very used on spiritual channels to talk about crystals, sprays, affirmations, cards, things that can help us, but don't forget the plant kingdom as well. And I have been saying since the end of 2018 that it almost feels as though there is an absence of air, okay? That's obviously energetic, because of course without a complete absence of physical air we all would be dead. I'm talking about the air elemental. Links back to the fact that the air elemental has been the least popular of my sprays. It's got nothing to do with the smell of it, it's to do with the energy. Air represents breathing in the new, expansion, freedom, you know, flying high, all of that. It's like there's a resistance to it. Oh, can we do that? This plant, the reason I'm bringing it in linked to air, is that NASA have, not recently, I think this is old news, but you know, NASA have proven that this is a wonderful purifier of the air that we breathe, particularly if you put it into a bedroom, but to be honest, if you put it into any room, it helps to purify the air. And I feel that we're very hot on cleansing ourselves and purifying our own bodies. cleansing our chakras, purifying ourselves, but we never think about the air that we're actually breathing in our home, in terms of, as this does, converting CO2 to oxygen, and also many other things that it's able to absorb and transmute. But also energetic, you know, being in a room where you've maybe had an argument, or being in a, not even an argument, being in a room where you've been stuck, okay? Being in a room where you've been stuck in an old energy. Maybe you've had an energy of poverty mindset, or poor me, or maybe you've been ill, you know, you are ill, you feel unwell. I know somebody who, you know, who is ill and sits in a chair in a particular place every single day, hours on end. You know, that chair, that room actually needs one of these plants right beside it. It's to do with helping to transmute and clear the air that we breathe, so that we get a better chance to help ourselves upgrade and transition through these times. Okay, all right. Let's go to some cards. Let me just spray a bit of air. Let me open the window and get some air. Let me spray the air. Right. I will just say, I must just show you, because they're so dinky and cute. So this is the air elemental. And we're going to start to do some little trial bottles for people who, you know, and they're going to be in a set of 3. They're not available yet, so don't all shout for them, but they are so cute, the little dinky ones. I don't know how many mils that is. Well, that's 30 mils. These are 50, so let me just spray the air elemental, because that's what happens every month. We welcome in a new month, and come on, is it coming? Did this last time. Last time I tried to spray the air. Look at that. That is where we are, guys, okay? Literally, we can't breathe. We can't. I'll give you an example. Again, I'm going to go back to my own healing yesterday. Like many of you, I've got 110 ideas in my head at any one time. And I was given this visualization to do by Jenny, and it was linked into, imagine all the thoughts in your head as almost like little Malteser balls, okay? All the thoughts in your head, lots of little Malteser balls. You don't need to identify what the Malteser balls stand for. They are just all the different thoughts that you've got in your head at any one time. Then, with visualization, and in a meditative state, or just lying down and relaxing, imagine those balls that are like bouncing against each other because they're all so rammed in, there's so many ideas. Imagine them starting to separate and move apart, and move them as far apart as you can, okay? Because the mind isn't a contained space. There's an energetic energy around the mind. Move all the thoughts out so that you start to have room between them. And what that room is, guys, is air. It's the element of air. Look at this, there's no air. It's like we can't breathe. So let's solve that. It's much easier for me to solve a spray than actually the collective problem. But let's put a different atomizer into it, because I'm determined to get this fresh air out. And I tell you what, I know atomizers sometimes do clog, but very, very rarely. They very rarely clog with me. So I know this is energetic. Let's breathe in some fresh air for May. I'd like you just to sink into your own body, and I want you to link into your lungs, the place where you breathe in and you breathe out. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths in of fresh air, the air elemental. It's coming out fine this time. I'm just spraying it around myself. 1, it's come out once, coming out twice, coming out 3 times. Okay, take a nice deep breath in and out. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. And connect to the element of air. Connect to the sound of the birds. Connect to the clouds in the sky. Connect to the air in your lungs. And then I'm being shown a balloon, and it's a red balloon. And you're being asked to blow up this red balloon with your own air from your lungs. And I want you to imagine that you're blowing up this red balloon with air from your lungs. And actually what's going into the red balloon is all of the old energy, okay? All of the old, stagnant, stuck energy. And it also might be old energy that's stuck in the lungs that's linked into grief, disappointment, anger, frustration, stuckness, etc. Breathe into the red balloon. See the balloon getting bigger and bigger and bigger, filled with this old air that your body has been accumulating and has been stuck in the lungs. And then let the balloon go. You don't tie up the balloon, you let it go. And you know what balloons do when you let them go when you haven't tied the end? They sort of go, okay? Let it do that, okay? But it is doing that away from you. Metatron has taken the balloon away from your auric space, away from your body, and just see that red balloon deflating naturally as the air comes out of it until it lands in a red pot that is waiting to collect it. The red pot belongs to Metatron, and it just has one word on it, which is trash, rubbish. There's a fire put into the pot and it is transmuted, let go of. Okay. And now I want us to breathe in the air again, and this time I want you to think about what you want to breathe into your body. So think about a particular quality. It may be joy, it may be love, it may be lightness, it may be rest, it may be health. Think about one quality, and let's allow now the element of air to come in and to bring it into your lungs. Okay, so again, I'm just having to change the atomizer. We will get there, guys. Let's just breathe in again the air. Breathing in the quality that you need. And out. One more time, breathing the quality in on the air and out. One more time, breathing the air in and out. Okay. Right, having cleared a little bit of stuff there, we can now have a look at what's coming in. So I'm going to use the layout that I've got here. I'm going to ask for a card for all of I've got 9 cards here. Past, present. Let's start with, I'm just going to lay them out. So just apologies for one moment. Let's just see where we get to. Got all the cards there. And all the cards there. Okay, let's give them a shuffle. So, May, Archangel Metatron, having invited in the air elemental to help keep us buoyant, to help keep us clear, to help keep us focused. Air links into the mind, being focused. Let's just put some cards down here onto the spread. So a card for the personal. Let me just do this and then I'll tell you what I've done. Card for the present. May 2019. May 2019, Metatron. May 2019. Three more cards. Okay. Bottom of the pack is the card of the Hermit. okay, the Hermit. And it talks about truth, guidance, facts and wisdom. So a month where we are going within to learn about ourselves, and also things are happening around us that are teaching us something. I gave a piece of guidance to one of you yesterday, just in an email, and somebody had written in asking for, did I know anybody who, I don't know, could offer a session or guidance, but didn't quite know what type of guidance they needed even, or what type of person they needed to see. And what I said to them is that when you face that sort of level of confusion, sometimes it's really important to just be. Sometimes you don't have to see anybody. Sometimes you don't have to hear anybody. You just have to listen to yourself. You have to get to know yourself better. You have to listen to your own truth more. So it feels as though in May there may be this push for us all to be discovering more of ourselves, and understanding what makes us tick. It's as though we're always going to an external source to find that, whereas actually the answers always lie within. Okay, let's go to the card of the personal message. You're not going to believe this. So, personal message, the card for the personal message is the card of source, okay? What was I just saying about going within? That you are the source. You are the source. The source lives within you. What is the source? The source is, can you see what it says on the card? The source is love and light. Source is God. Source is the divine. Source is the first spark of creation that created this amazing universe. You are that. The personal message is what I just said. It's actually confirming what I just said, that it is all within you. But yet we doubt it. We doubt it the whole time. I also feel as though, because it is coming up as a personal message, that source light is always available to you, okay? And again, we doubt that, don't we? We doubt it. We think that we need a third party to confirm to us what is the right course of action, what is our next step. But you always have it within you to be able to answer any question that you have in your life. Doesn't mean you can't get support, but it means that, the questions need to be answered by yourself. Let's have a look at the present. So this is the card of the present. And what goes with the present is the card of renewal and the world. Okay, so let's just put those two cards up so you can see them. So the card which deals with your present energy, we're being shown that we're at the place of renewal, which is rebirth. Okay, so I sort of want to say that card of rebirth to me, let's be perfectly blunt, okay? Those of us that have given birth, it's the most wonderful, amazing experience. And I came out of it thinking, wow, my body can do that. How amazing is it? But there's also a little bit of, there's a bit of this, okay? There can be a little bit of blood, it's like birth can be a little bit traumatic. And it's like, no one tells you that, but it is the truth. And it's like, there's the other thing with this feels like veins. This red energy here, to me, it feels like veins. It feels like our arteries. It feels like it's linking into our physical bodies, that the blood running through our veins, the blood running in through our arteries. It's as though new life is coming in. New life is coming in. In other ceremonies, of course, I'm not suggesting this, by the way, but in other ancient indigenous cultures, bloodletting would be a way to birth something. I used to give blood, actually. I used to give blood. I don't know why I stopped. I should really start again. But anybody that's given blood will know how it's a beautiful thing to do for another living person who may need it. But it's also very good for us, actually, to do, because what happens is as soon as you lose blood and you give it, Metatron's making me laugh. I'll tell you one in a minute. It renews. You know, you make another lot. I'm sorry. I've got Tony Hancock in my head now. Was it Tony Hancock, the blood donor sketch? Some of you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's like, what, a whole pint? Was it Hancock? I think it was, or Monty Python, one of those. Anyway, rebirth, present energy, rebirth. I mean, wow, renewal. We're coming into the 5th month. We've got the energy of renewal in the present tense. What is the first step? What is the first step that Metatron is advising us to do? Okay, let's see what goes with that card. The first step, the guidance is the Hanged Man. Okay, sorry, why is my camera mucking about? It's probably me mucking about with my camera. There we go. Okay, can you see that clearly now? So what goes with the first step is the Hanged Man. That makes complete sense, because when you are rebirthing, okay, when you are rebirthing and there is a start of a completely new cycle, you have to be like the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is the one which asks you to look at things from a different perspective. And it's about, it says here on the card, it's about transition, turning points and decisions. But the Hanged Man is always about, you need to look at the world differently. You need to look at the world anew. Before I started making this video, there was a song that came into my head. It's beautiful. It's Carrie Underwood's Do You Hear What I Hear? I don't even know who Carrie Underwood is. I just Googled what the song was. It's that, do you hear what I hear? Do you see what I see? That's what I was hearing. And again, it's like I'm entering a whole new world. It's like, do you see what I see? Do you hear what I hear? And this is the thing, there are people in society that aren't going to hear it. They're not going to see it. It's your new reality. You have to get your head around the fact that it's all a bit different, okay? And take your time in doing that. Beautiful song. Do you hear what I hear? Do you see what I see? Got that very clearly as a message. There was something else. Oh yeah, I want to say something else to you here. I mean, this is deep, guys. Again, this goes back, it's linked into the Hanged Man. I'm sort of sensing that healing that I had yesterday, it was for me, but it feels like there was collective stuff in it too, because there was the moment in the healing when I had finally let go of resistance and it was all starting to happen. I saw the image of the Hanged Man hanging upside down by his feet, but it was me, okay? So it was like me in a previous life. It wasn't me in this life, it was past life. And I was dangling by my feet, obviously, you know, being killed probably for my beliefs. And then the cord was cut and the body fell to the ground, basically. And with the body falling to the ground, there was just this amazing sense of relief and letting go. And I'm sharing that because although it was my stuff, it was obviously healing some sort of persecution I'd faced in a previous life. I feel as though it was partly collective as well, because it's as though when you cut the Hanged Man down from his cross, dangling by his feet, of course he's at peace, okay? Of course he's at peace. It's almost as though, does he have to keep dangling, is what I'm wanting to say, you know? Is this making sense? I hope it's making sense. It's making sense to me. I feel as though I want to bring in another guide at this point, just to help with anybody that this is relating to, that you've got a completely new situation, you're entering a new life, everything is starting to change, your mindset is changing, you know you're having to look at it differently, but it's like, God, it's difficult. You know, I shared with you how difficult I found it to let go yesterday in a healing. So let's just bring in another guide here to help you, all right? And this is the Kyle Gray. What is this? This is the Kyle Gray Keepers of the Light deck. And I just thought I wanted to bring this one today. So let's just see what guide Metatron, as well as you, can help people if they're feeling stuck at that first step. Is there somebody here? That person. Saint Germain. Look at how perfect that is. Saint Germain, karma releasing. Of course. Of course. Move beyond the drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. So this is all linked. So we're going to put Saint Germain there, who's just helping us all to break free. Let's look at what should I do. Do you like the cards? They're good, aren't they? Okay, so what should I do? And let's see what card goes with that. What should I do goes with the moon. Okay, the moon. And the moon is about phases, mystery, instinct and discovery. Let me just tune into this a moment. Hold on. What should I do? The moon. The moon for me is often linked into a little bit of confusion and illusion. So, and of course sensitivity and bringing up all of our emotions to the surface. Not always the most stable of influences. And of course I live under the influence of the moon, being a Cancerian, so I really know what I'm talking about here. To me, what should I do linked to the moon says to me, do nothing yet. It doesn't mean just, you know, sit down for the next month and do absolutely nothing. It just means pause, okay? Pause and observe your feelings that are coming up. Pause and learn from what is coming up. Try to see beyond the cobwebs, the veil, the things that are trying to prevent you from really moving forward with great gusto. The new is here, okay? You're being forced to look at things from a completely different perspective with the Hanged Man. The moon then just says, but it's not completely clear yet, okay? And that's fine. It's fine. Why do we always expect that we move from A to B to C to D to E and it's all very, very logical and clear? Life's not like that, okay? Life sort of gives you, you know, a new start, a new perspective, and then it's like, oh God, I've got to get used to this. You know, it's like having a new pair of glasses on or a new hearing aid or something. I've got to get used to it. So what should I do? The moon also, of course, it talks about phases. So this is also about linking to the cycles of the moon. Use the moon to help you to, you know, use the phases of the moon, the new moon, the full moon. I know we've got a moon on the 4th of May. I'm just wondering what sign that is in. Did you see the way I just went to that? Oh yeah, I have got it. I have got it. 4th of May. I like the month of May, I have to say. It just feels an optimistic month. The 5th. Oh, the new moon is on the 4th in Taurus. Ooh, okay. And it says, look out for the Eta Aquarids meteor shower later tonight. So a Taurian new moon. And what do bulls want to do? You know, Taurus is the bull. The bull wants to just go charging into the china shop. This card here is saying, no, 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 no. No, don't do that. Or if you're going to do that, clear the shop of the china first, you know? So just pause. Past influences. Okay, past influences affecting you this month. Yeah. Past influences affecting you this month is that you have gone through a portal recently. Okay, you've gone through a portal recently. Do you know what? Want to know what that portal was? It was Easter. Okay, to me it was Easter. Easter was a defining moment. That's why the spire fell in Easter week, in Holy Week. I've said in previous videos that a reset was coming, and I felt that it happened that week. Doesn't mean that just because we've gone through the portal, we know everything, you know, we understand this new reality. We don't. We're stumbling around a bit still in the dark. We're still in the Hanged Man situation. But we have gone through a portal, and it's in the past. Doesn't mean, of course, there won't be other portals in the future, but it does mean that we have gone through one recently, and that is confirmation of that. And so honour that. I also want to say honour your body that has gone through that as well, okay? I feel like I want to read a bit more about that card. So let me just see what Dinah says about card number 6. Portal. You get a lovely book with it. do, you know, if you order a deck from her, do say hello from me, because it's nice. That's how it works, isn't it? You know, it's like we're all networking, we're all trying to help each other, particularly the people that have got integrity on the path. And this lady's definitely got integrity. So the card of portal, let me put it back up, is called passageways. And she says, movement between the worlds, movement between times, movement between relationships can occur in many ways. Connections can be strengthened by understanding that one world is only your illusion. To see more, you must be more. This portal will open when you are ready. Remember, it's in the past, so it already has. Portals require that you identify who is using the pathway and where the path leads. If it is you travelling, know that certain decisions have to be made before any path is taken. Research, understand, and make the best plans possible. Notice that some conduits may be dead ends. Ignore popular opinion when you are considering portals. Absolutely, you know, absolutely. Break out of that box. I nearly wore my soft sell t-shirt again today, and that was because the last time that I wore my soft sell t-shirt on a video, it was to do with breaking out of the box, and that's the energy that I feel here. I love, love, love the fact that that card is confirming that we have all walked through a portal. So I want to say to all of us, well done, the first thing to say. Interesting, because Metatron then said to me, pull a card linked into who may be hurt. Okay, I didn't quite understand that, but I feel like it's linked into, if we've all just walked through a portal, who may be hurt by that? Ooh, right, I'm going to have to pull another card on that, because that's a weird one. That's a weird one, but I'm going to put it up, and I'm interested what you think about this. Who may get hurt? Oh, okay, thank you, Metatron. He's just explained it to me. I was thinking, what the hell does that mean? Because it's the Star card, which is the card of potential and the card of hopes and dreams. It's like, how can we hurt that, having walked through an amazing portal? What Metatron is saying is that it may well be that some of the dreams that you had pre-walking through the portal, Easter, no longer fit, I'm afraid. They just no longer fit. Oh gosh, okay. He's also saying that some of the dreams might have involved other people, okay? The easiest way to explain this may be to do with a relationship, okay? But it could also be a job type situation, but it could be anything. Say, as an example, you've always had a dream that, I don't know, you're going to be with a certain person. What I feel is that some of them didn't make it through the portal with us, okay? It was a defining moment, that portal in April. And so it's not that we're hurting them, it's the fact that we can't take any prisoners with us. We can't drag anybody through a portal with us. Everybody has free will, whether they want to stay exactly where they are or whether they want to change, evolve and move on. And I feel as though a few people, when I say have been left behind, it doesn't mean that tomorrow they can't wake up and think, actually, I'm going to go through that portal that so-and-so went through last month. Remember, time is not linear. So nobody truly gets left behind. But I do feel that some people may have temporarily been left outside the gateway, okay? And it may be somebody that you had a dream that was going to be fulfilled for some reason. If that is the case, the one thing I can absolutely guarantee to you is that you, having moved through the portal, your dreams and hopes don't die, they get better and bigger and more magnificent. So if that person wasn't able to follow you, well, actually almost have compassion for them, because they're missing out on something amazing, and somebody else will be brought in that is better. And at the moment you're like, no, I want them and only them. But the truth is that if they're not willing to budge in a universe where you've got free will, I used the expression of, you know, the train the other day on my Facebook page, the Metatron train. The Metatron train is just going to keep on running, you know? It's like you can catch up with it and you can catch another train to catch up with it, to jump on board it, but it's going to carry on, you know, with or without us. So we're all on board. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't, but it feels as though some of the people linked into us or around us, it's not that they've been hurt, it's actually Metatron is saying they've hurt themselves, because it's almost like they gave up on the dream, the joint dream that seemed to somehow connect to you. But he's wanting you to know that your dream didn't die. Your dream will be transformed into an even bigger success, an even bigger happy ending, and an even bigger new beginning. Okay, so that's really important. It could also be, another way to look at this is that the star card links into potential, okay, potential. And so I feel what's been happening a lot is that we've had to be closing doors on certain things that we might have been quite good at, or we, you know, might have been quite nice to do. But for whatever reason, decisions have had to be made, doors have had to close. And so with that, the opportunities don't go, they just change. It's all linked into boundaries. If something doesn't feel right, you say no, and then the universe will sort of like, Metatron's showing me like, okay, I'll have another look through my book. What else could they do? You know? There'll be another opportunity presented to you. The card of the near future. The near future. We've got the card of the High Priestess. Okay, got the card of the High Priestess. So near future is near future. This is to do with an upgrade of intuitive, psychic powers. I'm quite, you know, I said to you earlier, didn't I, about this blue, electric blue light, you know, that I had received yesterday in my own healing. Look at these two cards, they've got that blue light on them. And we looked at that 6 months ago, didn't we, with the sort of there've been a number of explosions with blue light happening around the world. It feels quite galactic as well. But anyway, in the near future, we've got the High Priestess. What Metatron is saying is, I'm hearing the words, you come in to save yourself. Alleluia, I want to say. And I'm saying that to me as well, because it's almost like we realise that we're the ones that can save ourselves. We're also the ones that can save the planet, by the way, okay? It's like we are the ones we've been waiting for. We know that. We've heard that expression however many times. We finally get it, that we are the ones we've been waiting for. You know, that we're going to do it is basically what I'm feeling. Brilliant. But heightened sense of perception, the High Priestess. I also feel near future, the High Priestess. It feels as though, of course, these are galactic cards by nature. They're taken from outer space. The images are all pictures from outer space. So the High Priestess here is pictured in this way. It feels as though there is information linked into the priestess energy, which is the divine feminine energy that comes in from space, lands on Earth in the near future. What does Dinah say about the High Priestess card? I don't know whether... What does she say? So the advice is, those in the heavens know so much more because they are viewing circumstances from a higher elevation. If you were in a cornfield standing on the ground, you would not be able to see very much. But if you had a stepladder and you climbed above the stalks, the area would be much clearer to you. The beings outside Earth's form are much further up, and therefore they can see all that you cannot. This is why you should listen to what knowledge they send to your heart. Your unconscious mind knows the right answer to your questions. It says, if there is one thing that the High Priestess concept gives forth for humanity, it is to know with all of your heart that there is a purpose for all that you think, know and do. Time will make that clear to you. Okay, we've got the outcome card. Oh no. Okay, the outcome card, I'm just like, oh gosh, okay, really? I need to tune into this. The outcome card is the Tower again. Oh God, okay, Metatron saying it's a double tower. What he means by that is we had the Tower in April. There's going to be another Tower moment in May. I'm sorry, guys. It's like I'm feeling like I've got to apologise. But no, I can't apologise for the universe. There's a double Tower moment because it makes an 11, okay? 11 is linked to Metatron. I don't know what the Tower is. It is interestingly linked to storms, electrical impulses and lightning. That's what this card says, the Tower. Storms, electrical impulses and lightning. Now, there's a few things that are coming to me, Metatron is saying. He's saying you're all straight away thinking, he's including me in that, of physical manifestations of the Tower, you know? Is that the financial system? Is that a political party? Is that a government? Is that Trump? Is it here? Is it this? Is it that? Is it the royal family? He's saying it may be. He's saying it may be all of that or it may be nothing. He's saying, but what he's wanting me to talk about is that this Tower is energetic. It's linked into the Schumann resonance. Those of you that follow the Schumann resonance know that it's been spiking wildly. I think yesterday in particular, it really spiked very, very high. He's saying, watch the Schumann resonance. He's wanting me to put these two cards back up and he's saying, watch the skies. Watch for the blue light, okay? Storms, electrical impulses and lightning. And he's on this card, you see, the Tower card comes in with the word alarm, because the point is that some people are going to be alarmed. Some people are already alarmed. Some people don't understand, you know, what this light is, you know, what the Schumann resonance is, what 5D is, you know, what a light body is, what a chakra is, you know, what an angel is, you know. And please, if you're watching this and thinking, well, hold on, I don't think I know what a Schumann resonance is or anything. None of us are experts here. I'm certainly not. What I'm saying to you is we have an awareness that there are these things that we don't fully comprehend and understand, but at least we know they're there. At least they're on our radar, okay? At least we know there are things that we can't understand, that the world is changing, the world is evolving. Consciousness is growing. The divine feminine is here, whether people like it or not. The divine masculine is also here. Can you imagine being somebody who hasn't got a clue about any of this stuff? I tell you what, there would be an alarm call going off. You know, it's we have to sink into compassion, because really there has to be an alarm call for more people to wake up. But I think this Tower, as I say, can I pull another card on that Metatron? Can I pull another card on the Tower? I'll pull one more card on the Tower. Shall I pull it from this deck? Yeah, pull it from that deck, okay. Do you understand what I mean by the Tower being more energetic this time? I mean, it still might be physical things as well, but I'm feeling as though it's more, the energy itself is the Tower moment. Maybe it's tipping point. Maybe it's like suddenly it's like something really does shift. And it's a Tower moment for people that really haven't got the faintest idea, who have never looked at it. I've got somebody that I know who's complete agnostic, actually. So that's somebody who doesn't know. It's like they've chosen to sort of sit on the fence and just not know, and not want to know, and not want to know at all. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking, gosh, that must be such a... I can't imagine the place, to be honest. I can't imagine the place. I can't imagine facing a complete void of nothingness, of no understanding of what's going on, really, or even wanting to know what's going on, either from a religious perspective, a spiritual perspective. It's a bit of an anathema to me. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying I find it an interesting perspective for people to have. But for those type of people, I think it's going to become increasingly hard and difficult and challenging being here. Let's just pull one more. Oh, okay. Right, what came out with the Tower is the card of well-being. I honestly think this Tower is energetic this time. I'm going to keep the door open that there might still be an event. I don't know, I'm not being shown that, but I've got the card of well-being with the Tower. There is no cause for alarm. Remember, this was the outcome card for May as well, please. Okay, we pulled this as the outcome card for May. We've got the Tower, but we've got it with the card of well-being. Okay. Oh, right. Metatron is saying that this Tower moment, this alarm, is for humanity's well-being. He's being a bit cryptic. Just use my spray here. See if I can get any more from him. Why is the Tower for our well-being? Why is this particular Tower moment for our well-being in May? It's like all must crumble to dust. This is metaphoric. It's an analogy. So to use Notre Dame as an example doesn't mean it's Notre Dame that again gets hit or anything like that. Let's just use it as an example. With Notre Dame, we saw the spire falling. What I'm now seeing falling is the turrets. I mean, Notre Dame might not even have any turrets. He's showing me the analogy of a castle, okay? So it literally is, it's like bit by bit by bit, the old has to fall. April, we had the spire fall. It's like the pivotal top of it all. The next layer is going to fall. He's showing it to me in terms of the analogy of a building. Will the building still be standing at the end of May? Yes, it will. But where it will have a spire gone and it will also have the turrets gone. It's not Notre Dame, by the way. This is just purely an analogy he's giving me. We've got the wild card. And I don't know what the wild card is. I'm going to have a look at it with you. Okay, so the wild card. The wild card is judgment. Wow. God, this is a deep reading. Let me just breathe. Just breathe. Judgment. Wild card. What the hell does that mean? Okay. The card of judgment, the wild card for May, is linked into decisions, outlook, and finality and results. We are going to be judged on our results. As soon as I say that word judged, you see, I'm having a hard time with it because it takes us back into old religious territory. You know, you're going to be damned if you do this. You're going to be saved if you do that. That's not the new way of the world. And that's not what Metatron means. I want to replace the word judgment with something else. Oh, okay. Maybe that's the message. As a species, we have to move away from judgment. We judge all the time. We're always judging people, aren't we? I do it as well. Somehow we've got to get beyond judgment. I need another card. I need another card. Why is that there as the wild card? I obviously understand what judgment means. It's more just why is it there as the wild card for May? Why is it there as the wild card for May? It's to do with energy. Okay, right, that makes more sense. Put them up to the camera, okay? So this is linked into, be very careful how you use your judgment and how you use your, very careful how you use your energy this May. You could very well jump to the wrong conclusion. You could very well judge somebody unfairly or harshly. And it's all to do with whether your energy is flowing or whether it's blocked, okay? There seems to be something linked into, I mean, there's just such new energy coming in for May. It feels as though I can feel what I'm trying to say. I'm just struggling to put it into words. Help me, please, Metatron. Okay. He's saying you might be very surprised where your own energy takes you in May to make decisions that you, at the moment, aren't expecting to make. That could be the big things, it could be the little things. It could be the fact that, I don't know, every day you take the train to work and you suddenly go on a keep fit phase and decide to walk to work for the rest of your life. You know, it's like your energy, when it's flowing, is going to take you into areas where you're going to be making decisions that are going to surprise you. That's why it's the wild card. You can't see it coming. I also feel as though there are situations which your energy takes you into, which does change your outlook. The Hanged Man, it does change your outlook. And because it changes your outlook, it changes everything. We are how we view our world. And it feels as though if that happens to you, that the decisions and the outlook have a degree of finality to them in terms of they are lasting major changes. They're not just fly by the night things. I'll give you an example. The work thing about, you know, getting the train versus working. I used to work with this guy, and I saw him again for the first time, I don't know, in years, a couple of years ago, and he had really transformed himself, his body shape. He looked much fitter. Hope he doesn't mind me saying that, than he used to. And I said to him, I said, wow, you know, you look really good, you know, what are you doing? And he basically walks to work every day now. And it's something like a 9-mile trip there and back through London rather than getting on the tube train. And he said, yeah, he said, for the first few days it was really hard. I wouldn't change it now. I walk in all weathers, you know. It's a decision that he made, probably based on something which came from nowhere almost, you know. It was like a wild thought one day. Oh, I can't be bothered with getting the tube. I'm going to walk it today. It's mad. It's 9 miles here, 9 miles there and back. Why would anybody do that? And all of a sudden, he does it every day now, and he's done it for about the last decade. It's that type of thing. There's something coming in that is just a bit odd, a bit wild, that seems to be about when you're really in your flow, it takes you somewhere and you're going to surprise yourself. Okay. Well, yeah, there we go. Metatron said May was going to be a month to remember. Let's just have some final guidance from him then. Okay. You might need to re-watch this video. There's quite a lot that's come through. I'm going to use the Rainbow Ray spray, okay? The Rainbow Ray from Metatron is to do with upgrade and expansion, and that's where we're at the moment. So guidance with everything that's just been said, Metatron. Keep it light. He's giving the analogy of, he's done this before. It's like he's not giving too much guidance because, sorry, I'll tell you why. It's like the parent who's shoving the child out of the front door, you know, and it's like they've already packed the sandwiches in the rucksack for the child on the back, you know, they've given them a map of where to go. They have arranged for them to be staying the first night with wherever they're meant to go. And it's like, just get out there now and do it. And just get out there now and do it, knowing that I'm watching anyway. I'm with you. I'm walking beside you, but I'm not going to do it for you. There's a feeling of safety and security. You don't shove the child out into the cold air, you know, to just sort of make mistakes and walk into danger. No. The loving parent, which basically is how Metatron is coming across, they only do that when they know that the child is ready. We are the child. They know, he knows we're ready for this experience of May. And then we've also got Saint Germain, who just fell over. The card fell over as I was talking there, who's also saying call on me. So violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. To help to release what needs to be released and to work on karma. And the guidance on this card is to move beyond the drama, to create your own path, and to make room for good energy. Okay. Whoa. I've got these little cards here and I wasn't sure whether I was going to use them, but I'm just going to pull 3 because the 2 on the bottom of the pack are quite interesting. The card of the masculine and the card of the future. Let's pull one more. Hold on, let me just shuffle them. What cards are these? I know you like to know the cards I use. They're very small. They're called the Universal Oracle cards by Christina Georgeva. Okay. So the masculine and the future. Let's have one more card. Individuality. Do you know what I think? There's a lot of talk about divine feminine. I've talked about this in this video. I think the masculine is going to get a bit of a rocket up their proverbial backsides. I say that with love, and I say that to the men who are unawake. Okay, this isn't to the men that are already awake. It's like, how interesting. May seems to bring in something which shakes up and wakes up the masculine energy on our planet. And rather than the patriarchal energy, which has been very much about control and conformity, it seems to bring in an energy of individuality, that it's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to do something different. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, guys, because it's a lot of energy, and I think that's almost like leading into a whole other video on divine masculine and divine feminine energies. So get ready for liftoff, I'm hearing. Much love to all of you. I hope that helped. Bye-bye for now. Remember to say hi to Dinah if you order her cards. I don't get commission, by the way, or anything like this when I show cards. I just like to share good work with you of other people who I resonate with. And she's one of them. And I owe her a great deal. Much love. Bye-bye for now.